myself. Mhm. Notice, all cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of this meeting. And I would like to call the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Governments Council meeting to order today, Wednesday, September 24th. And we will have invocation by Mr. Clyde Hamner and also the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we're gathered here this evening with thankful hearts, grateful for the many blessings we have received. We thank you for the retired teachers here tonight and those listening from home who have shaped countless lives through their commitment and passion. Lord, grant us discernment and insight as we make decisions so that we may lead with fairness and compassion, always striving to do what is right for those we serve. Bless us with perseverance and courage to face challenges, remain true to our values, and inspire others by our example, even when the path is difficult. Help us to listen with open hearts, show empathy to all, and foster unity among those whom we work so that everyone feels valued and supported. Father, grant us strength to pursue truth, honesty, and integrity in all our endeavors. We humbly ask for these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son, our Lord. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Alicia, could you give us a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding,
Here.
Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Council convenes as a board of review to consider written appeals to the tax assessment as presented by the Terrebonne Parish Assessor.
All right, Duffy DePlanis Jr., Chief Deputy Terrebonne Parish Assessor's Office, 2025. We have no protests, and we ask that y'all please accept the tax roll as is.
Mhm.
I make a motion to accept the 2025 property assessment list as presented by the parish assessor. Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Babin, second by Mr. Champagne, that we accept this property assessment by the tax assessor. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine.
All right,
Motion
thank y'all.
passed. Great job. Thank you.
y'all.
Approved minutes of the regular council session held on August 27th, 2025. Moved by Mr. Almady, second by Mr. Champagne. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. Motion passed, 8-0. Distribute the minutes of the regular council session held on September 10th, 2025. That has been done. Approve the accounts payable bills list for 9/15/2025 and 9/22/2025. Moved by Mr. Pleasure, second by Ms. Chauvin. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. Motion passed, 9-0. General business, 1A, proclaiming Hunger Action Month. Mr. John Amady.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government Proclamation Hunger Action Month. Whereas hunger and food insecurity are urgent and critical concerns affecting the residents of Terrebonne Parish, and whereas according to Feeding America, more than 436,000 individuals in South Louisiana experience food insecurity, including 1 in every 5 children who are uncertain where their next meal will come from. And whereas food insecurity, defined as limited or uncertain access to adequate food, is linked to numerous negative social and health outcomes, making it a serious public health issue. And whereas the fight against hunger requires the active involvement of a wide range of public and private entities, including policymakers, business leaders, food banks, community organizations, and concerned citizens. And whereas Terrebonne Parish is committed to combating hunger in every corner of our community and to addressing food insecurity among those in need. And whereas Terrebonne Parish proudly supports Second Harvest Food Bank of South Louisiana in its mission to educate the public about the vital role of food banks and to raise awareness and resources to combat hunger. And now therefore be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the Parish President Jason W. Bergeron and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government that the month of September 2025 be hereby proclaimed as Hunger Action Month in Terrebonne Parish and call upon all residents, organizations, and institutions within our community to join in this observance. Signed by Parish President Jason W. Bergeron, Council Chairman Carl A. Harding. Do we have someone here to accept this?
Item 1B, a request for waiver of fees for the use of Barry P. Bonvolant Civic Center parking lot for the Rougarou Fest from the South Louisiana Wetlands Discovery Center. Moved by Mr. Amady, second by Mr. Champagne. Discussion? Okay. Could you, you speaking on behalf of this?
Yes, Jonathan Foray, 8358 Main Street. I am the chairperson for the Rougarou Fest and the executive director for the South Louisiana Center for the Arts. So it roughly costs us about $250,000 to produce the Rougarou Fest each year. And using data that we've collected and also through Explore Homa that pays a service called Datify, they've informed us that we have an economic impact on Terrebonne Parish of 4.4 million. So that's folks coming in from out of town, getting gas, staying at hotels, things like that. And so that then in turn equates to sales tax dollars. So the parish definitely gets to benefit from the work that we do as well. So we're approaching the council to ask that the fee for the use of the parking lot at the Civic Center be waived because we still have all the other expenses that we have to pay. Our two biggest expenses are security. So we pay a little over $20,000 a year to HPD and the sheriff's office to be able to maintain the security for the festival and then also the parade. And then the Civic Center parking lot is the next at about $7,000 is what it's been typically. So we ask that you guys would consider waiving that fee for us.
I have Mr. Trustclair. I don't know if he asks you some questions, you have the option to answer or whatever, but then.
Yes,
Mr.
thank you, Mr.
Trustclair.
Chair. I don't specifically have a question for Jonathan, but I mean, he can state if you want. I have a concern with this. I know a couple weeks ago, we did the same thing. We came up for the Hero Fest, and I voted for it. And I made mention to my colleague next to me that we opened up a can of worms by doing that. I know for a fact, well, I've heard that we've already asked the Civic Center Department to cut their budget by $40-something thousand this year. And if we keep, as a council, we keep giving their funding away, well, then he'll never be able to operate the Civic Center. The Hero Fest, before I voted for it, I did call and find out, I think their bill would have been like around 13,000 maybe, or it might have been 7, I'm not sure what it was. But the Hero Fest, their all their alcohol sales go to the Civic Center. So I checked, and this year's alcohol sales were roughly $30,000, which at a minimum, say 50% would be net profit. So the Civic Center would realize at least $15,000 of revenue from the Hero Fest, which would cover what Hero Fest would have paid for the parking lot plus probably some. Uh, the configuration of the Rougarou Fest, their alcohol sales are off the premises, so none of that would go to the Civic Center. So the whole 7,000 or whatever it would be an actual loss to the Civic Center on income. And on the same token, Rougarou is a $4.5 million impact, and I believe that's so. But if we do this, then we'll have Carnival crews coming in because they're nonprofits, and Carnival is a hell of a lot more economic impact than $4 million. We're actually getting a study done now from TITA, and but you know, in past estimations, it was more than $4 million. So pretty much every night, and look, I'm all for giving nonprofits whatever we can. I would like to get, to me, give it to everybody. But if we give it the Civic Center away totally, well then Civic Center can't sustain itself. And I'm sure the parish don't have the funding because they asked the Civic Center to cut their budget by 40-something thousand. So I'm not in favor of it. Like I said, there's no way for it. I don't see any way that the Civic Center can recover their money out of that, unless somebody's got some other ideas, but that's just my take on it. Thank you.
Am I able to add anything to that? Is that okay? So another thing, I guess, information to share with all of you is that the Wetlands Discovery Center manages the Bayou Terrebonne Waterlife Museum. And since we've taken over management of that, we have invested $183,000 into the Waterlife Museum to get it operable again, because a lot of the buttons and exhibits were not functioning. And so, yes, we are a nonprofit organization, but a lot of that money that we make goes back into a Terrebonne Parish facility that we do not own, that we're working to try to make more attractive to tourists. So I just think that's an important part to share with you as well. That money that we're bringing in is actually going back into parish facilities. It may not be the Civic Center, but it's the Waterlife Museum.
Mr.
And
Trustman?
I understand that. I agree with you on that. But if the Civic Center can't sustain itself and there's no Civic Center, then, I mean, what's the difference in you putting it in a Waterlife Museum or giving it back to the Civic Center? I mean, we know the Civic Center's strapped because they were asking them to cut their budget, all right? So if we wouldn't be asking them to cut their budget and had plenty of money, I'd have no problems. But they're having it, the directors and the operators of the Civic Center are having to cut their budget this year by $40-something thousand. And that's just my take on it. Thank you.
Ms. Chauvin?
Okay, so Candace, we talked about the rent being free for this. Which building is that you talked about?
Ms. Chauvin, that was the office space within the Waterlife Museum that we were talking about.
Okay, do you know what that equates to?
I do not know, ma'am.
Okay. And that is a year. And we give $50,000 a year to run and operate the Waterlife Museum also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Some of the things that I was just looking at is since 2014 to 2024, from this parish, they have given $170,000 minus 2016 and 2021 where they didn't give any money on that part of it. I understand that you're saying that you upgraded some of the facility, but it says upgrading and programming. how much money actually went into upgrading and how much money is going into programming. And when the programming, you're talking about the educational part of it. And from what I understood, I thought that people had to pay to get into the summer camp.
They do. So, for the, Miss Perla used to be the docent of the Water Life Museum, and she was a staff member she was a Terrebonne Parish employee. When she retired, we made the agreement that the Wetlands Discovery Center would take over management of the Water Life Museum and would be given money to cover the salary. Well, it doesn't completely cover the salary. So the parish paid less money to staff the Water Life Museum by giving us that 50,000. That money is also on a sliding scale that reduces. And so this year, we do not get 50,000. I think we're at 45, and the next year is 40, and the next year is 35. So it reduces by 5,000. And that agreement was made to ensure that we would be able to develop the capacity to maintain the salaries for those employees, which don't get parish benefits or anything like that. So by us managing the facility, it was at a cost benefit to the parish.
Okay, so the upgrading and the programming, how much actually went to upgrading? How much actually went to programming?
So I can get those numbers for you. We just got, we are in contract with Glenn Petrie, who originally did the exhibit designs for the Water Life Museum. And he is the person who has just gone through, maybe 2 weeks ago, in fact, and finished putting everything back together and getting all of the buttons to work so that way when you press them, the audio works, the video works. And there is still a section of the museum that was demolished because of the termite infestation that we had there, that we are committed to building a new exhibit in that space at our cost.
Okay. Mentioned in the letter, it mentions the 4.4 million. Is that tangible numbers or is that just a formula that they use? Because I know that in a lot of things, they just use formulas just to kind of pull something on that part of it.
So that's with Explore Homa. They pay
Okay.
a good chunk of change to a company called Datify. And so the way they are able to extrapolate that data is through cell phone usage and credit card usage. And so they do a geofence around a particular area, and they can determine how much money was spent, estimated, I'm sure, by using that.
Okay.
So that's a third-party data system that they use to determine how much of an economic impact all of these events in Terrebonne Parish has.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Candace, in this letter, I guess, Jonathan, you wrote this little one-page summary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In it, it says data from Explore Homa shows that the Rougarou Fest had the biggest economic impact of any event in Terrebonne Parish of 4.4 million. This translates into 242,000 in local sales tax collected. But doesn't that go to Explore Homa, not to Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government? That's hotel motel tax.
So, not knowing what the letter says, but hearing what you just said, if it is a sales tax that we are calculating, that goes to multiple places, Terrebonne Parish Government, School Board, and so forth. Hotel motel does go to Explore Homa as well as Terrebonne Parish. It is split with Terrebonne Parish for the Civic Center and Bayou Country Sports Park.
Yeah, 1% for the Civic Center, 1% for Bayou Country Sports Park, which will expire in 2032. And then it'll all go to Explore Homa.
The Civic Center one does not expire.
Except the Civic Center one,
Correct.
you're correct. Jonathan, how much in grants do you get from Explore Homa for the Rougarou Fest?
7,500.
7,500. So you
Yeah.
get that, and you're asking for an additional, what, 10,000 in waivers
7,000 for the parking lot
for the
of the
parking
Civic
lot?
Center.
So what you use the 7,500 for that you get from Explore Homa?
Marketing.
For marketing, okay. Um, Jason, where are we going to replace the money, that would normally go to the Civic Center? Since you're cutting Civic Center in the budget, what are we going to replace this with? Is this going to be a further cut?
So
It's a catch-22. That's
it
what I'm
is,
asking.
and we are working on coming back with a new ordinance to talk about increases and breaking that up over a period of time. On average, we give between $700,000-$800,000 a year out of general fund to the Civic Center. So my goal there is to hopefully lose less. As we kind of work through this and talk about the impacts and everything else. One of the things that Jonathan mentioned was the law enforcement, which, as I understand, that we're looking to have to cover for the parade this year, right? And so what I'm working on with the team is to understand, get a protocol together that determines, if somebody steps up and wants a parade, and that's, say, in our current budget year, we don't have that in our budget. How do we handle that if it's going to cost us $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to put on a parade, right? So that's also a conversation that we are looking at right now of how their parade would be handled. As I understand, historically, it's been handled by a grant, but that grant's no longer available. So I do think we need to look at all that and figure out what we need to do, what's fair. The conversation is always about, if we do for one, we got to do for all. I couldn't tell you where that's going to come from now, and we're presenting the budget tonight, and again, that's going to be something that maybe we'd have to go back and look with Candace to see what impact that has currently on the budget, with the fact that, when I know we're talking about next year's budget being less, but we're also now going to decrease this budget by that dollar amount also. So, I get those numbers and have that conversation. I don't know if Candace could kind of look at that now, but if not, I really couldn't give an answer directly, because we put the budget together
Okay,
banking on
okay.
that. Yeah.
I'm not going to put you on the spot for that's what I call a Texas sidestep. It really puts me in a quandary, because I know Jonathan and I know what a wonderful job he does. He spoke at the teacher convention and had them on their toes last October. He did such a good job, and the Wildlife Museum and what he does is such a wonderful asset for Terrebonne Parish. But then again, when we cut in services, and I got a text this afternoon from a lady who's not real pleased with the maintenance situation of the ditches, and it's where. I understand you had a meeting with certain members of leadership of the council the other day that it talked about cuts, and who. Another question I wanted to ask: who put this on the agenda? Do we know? It doesn't say on
I can answer that question.
Yeah,
Okay.
you approved it, but I know,
I
but who
approved
asked
it,
for
yeah.
it?
I generally, when someone puts something on the agenda, we were looking at the fact that when our council clerk or our office was contacted, generally we thought that was coming from the administration. So administration desired that we actually put forth this. Generally, what happens is that when we change the laws, where all co-sponsorships go through the administration, but now this, what it seems to me right now, we're looking at a budget adjustment somewhere going down the line with a certain amount of money. So I give them an opportunity to actually present themselves like this.
Right, but somebody had to request that it be put on
It
the
came from administration.
administration. So you put it on the agenda, or your staff did?
No, so the way the ordinance reads right now is that the council has to approve.
The council has to approve it or disapprove
waiver.
it, but did
And my
anybody
conversation-
approach the council? I'm trying to make a point. Did
Right.
anybody approach the council and ask the council's opinion on this? so that we don't have to be the bad guys and say no, you know? Or did you just put it on the agenda and said, well, the council can make that suggestion? I'm gonna ask you, what's your recommendation on this? Do you want us to approve this? Yes or no?
It's not my
Yeah,
response.
because
I'll be
you put
honest.
it on me to make the decision,
No, I
but I'm
didn't.
putting it back on you
I didn't put it
to
on
tell
you.
me
This
if
is,
you can handle this in the budget.
I don't have that information right now. And I didn't put it on you
Can I
guys.
make a substitute motion that we table this and not vote on it tonight and get more information? 2 weeks?
Well, you can make the motion.
I'll make the motion because I don't want it to fail, but I don't want it to pass if we don't have the money either. And I need some more information. Jonathan, I'm all for this, for giving the museum, the Wildlife Museum more money, or some money. It maybe we need to tweak it a little bit because I know it's coming up in the budget. And Steve's right. We're gonna be cutting here and there and then giving money away and cutting services like maintenance and cleaning of ditches. And we're not gonna give our employees a 2% raise or any kind of raise again this year, I feel, which is gonna make 2 or 3 years in a row. And yet we're giving money away to non-essential services. I, I would like to just get if I could get a second to table it. I would like to just 2 weeks to look at it and come up with, some solution.
May I make a comment?
Motion by Mr. Hamnet, second by Mr. Trustclair, that we table this particular item. Any discussion?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Yeah.
Okay. I think all of those concerns are very valid. And I would just say that those concerns were equally valid when Hero Fest came up and asked for that waiver. But were these conversations had when that group asked for that waiver, right? And again, I guess, what's fair for one should be fair for all. So it's just if this is gonna be an inconsistent thing that you guys then say, okay, well, we need the money, so you can't waive this fee. And then a different group comes up in a couple weeks, and then this conversation doesn't happen, and that fee gets waived for them. I would hope that there's some consistency in the way that this is handled.
Jonathan, you're 100% right. We need some consistency in here, and we just don't have it. We're giving it here and giving it there, and then, then there's other projects that we've taken it away from. And that's one of the reasons why I'm asking, so we can come up with a ongoing plan on how we get these before us. Yeah, it's gonna get bad if we don't come up with a plan. And it makes us look bad because we the guys that have to say no when somebody else could have said, well, look, we can't really do this year.
I guess my question is,
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, you have
Yeah.
a substitute motion
Yeah.
and a second.
Yeah.
Robert's Rules of Order says discussion.
I know Robert's rules. Thank you, Danny.
Proceed, Mr. Hamner. We have to vote. Members, vote your machine on the substitute motion. Motion passed, 7-2. Substitute motion has been passed that we table this item for 2 more weeks. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
still have my light on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In response to your statement a minute ago, I did state that I voted for the Hero Fest, but I also stated in my conversation that I did some research, and the Hero Fest, through the alcohol sales to the Civic Center, covered what would have been their charges last year and definitely this year. So it's not like I didn't have any conversation I did check. The Civic Center didn't lose any money or any revenue by having the Hero Fest in their parking lot without charging them. This way, they'll lose the $7,000. Thank you.
If I may respond.
Mr. Pleasure.
I yield, Mr. Chair. We'll just disregard my line.
May I?
We've actually pushed it back for 2 weeks, but I myself have a comment in reference to this. Thank you, sir.
I was going to say the Civic Center has the opportunity to sell alcohol
Well,
when
we have an opportunity. I'm just going to actually say
Yeah.
we finished with this, and I'm going to make a comment in reference to how we would handle business up here.
Okay.
You can prepare yourself for something different in about 2 weeks. This
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
From the chair's point, in our discussions, and trying to give everyone an opportunity to do something. Correct. And where we are, I'm saying this to the people, is the fact that we're trying to do the best we could. And in reference to some comments on whether we're being fair or not, I believe up here we're doing our due diligence up here. And if those people that are sympathetic saying we're being unfair, one day someone may have X amount of dollars, and the next day someone may not have X amount of dollars. And because what we see now in the position that we are in now, I believe that is the decision that we are making up here right now. And then hopefully in 2 weeks, if it's feasible for us to go forward in that manner, then we're going forward. Therefore, I commend you guys for actually putting forth the effort and actually keeping this particular Rougarou Fest in your view to be successful. Thank you. C, presentation of the 2026 budget. Mr. Bedroom.
Thank you. Read my normal letter. It is an honor to submit our proposals for the 2026 Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government Financial Budget for your review. This is a balanced budget that represents administration's commitment to providing exemplary services and quality of life programs to our residents. The financial budget totals $267.9 million and contains $17.7 million in operating capital and 5-year capital outlay. For comparison, the original 2025 adopted budget totaled $269.8 million with $16.7 million in operating capital and capital outlay. In preparing the 2026 proposed budget, administration faced another challenging year. While the parish has experienced a modest increase in operational revenue and implemented significant cost-saving initiatives during 2025, these efforts were insufficient to fully offset rising expenditures. The parish continues to face significant increase in insurance premiums, health insurance claims, and ongoing facility maintenance costs. With these challenges in mind, this proposed budget was prepared using a conservative and responsible approach. All parish leaders had input on their departmental budgets, and additional significant cost-saving measures have been implemented. This includes reductions in discretionary spending and the elimination of open positions that would not impact the services provided to citizens. As a result, revenues are proposed at an increase of 1.7%, and operating expenditures are proposed at 1.15% decrease. I'm pleased to submit this balanced budget even in the face of challenging times. This budget reflects a strategic plan at improving operational efficiency and long-term sustainability. This was accomplished with the support of each department. Because of these united practices, we're able to continue to provide great services to our residents. In closing, it's an honor to serve as your parish president. I would like to thank the parish council, my administration, employees, and our residents of our community. Through open communication and transparency, we will continue to empower individuals and teams to be successful in moving Terrebonne Parish forward.
Thank you, sir. Any lights? Thank you. D, a motion to rescind the condemnation order of the residential and accessory structure located at 500 Kinney Street. Move, moved by Mr. Wazat, second by Mr. Amity. Any discussion, members, vote your machine. Motion passed 9-0. E, proclamation proclaiming. This proclamation is proclaiming Miss Rosemary Geist Porsche Day in recognition of her 100th birthday. Mr. Clyde Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Got it. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's with great pleasure that I present this proclamation in honor of Rosemary Porsche. She's a good friend of mine, a very active member of the Terrebonne Retired Teachers Association. She comes to all 4 quarterly meetings a year. She's very outspoken, and her youth and vibrancy is an inspiration to everybody that attends those meetings. And without further ado, I want to read the proclamation. It says, whereas the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government has learned that September 29th, 2025 marks the historic event of the 100th birthday of Mrs. Rosemary Geist Porsche. And whereas Ms. Rosemary was born in Houma in 1925, and whereas Ms. Rosemary married Mr. Charles Porsche Sr. over 75 years ago, with whom she had 2 children and several grandchildren, and whereas Ms. Rosemary served her community for many years as a teacher at Oak Lawn Elementary School and at Ellender Memorial High School, earning her master's degree plus 30 hours of certification. And whereas Ms. Rosemary retired as a teacher in 1985 and has remained active with both the Terrebonne Retired Teachers Association and the Louisiana Retired Teachers Association for the past 40 years. And whereas once an avid traveler, today Ms. Rosemary enjoys gardening and bird watching in her free time. And whereas Terrebonne Parish would like to recognize Ms. Rosemary on the momentous occasion of her 100th birthday and her legacy as an educator and supporter of fellow educators, now therefore be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the parish president, Jason Bergeron, and the entire parish consolidated government, that the day of September 29th, 2025, be hereby proclaimed Rosemary Geist Porsche Day in Terrebonne Parish, and that Rosemary be wished a very happy birthday, and that she be celebrated for the many lives she has impacted over the past 100 years. And we have a presentation for Rosemary, the beautiful plaque.
I'm trying to get to 75.
I'm halfway there.
Come on. Want a picture? Come on. I think Mr. Babin, she is your constituent. Why don't you come down here? Almost the same age.
Almost there, look.
I'd just like to thank the council and everybody who made this possible. And Clyde was the instigator of all of this. but I've enjoyed being in Terrebonne Parish, and I don't know if you put down head on there, but I worked with the elections. I was yeah, yep, for many years. So, but I thank you all. I have a good day.
Okay. Any lights?
If,
Okay. If you guys want to leave, we're gonna give you ample time. I got 30 more years to get there, so you know.
That's right. Rosemary, I expect you to be here in 31 years when they give me my resolution and key to the parish.
Happy birthday. F, proclamation proclaiming Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Terrebonne Parish. Ms. Kim Chauvin.
A proclamation, whereas Louisiana has ranked at least fifth in the nation in the homicide rate among female victims killed by male offenders in single victim, single offender incidents over the past 11 years. And whereas in a study of domestic violence homicides, it was found that 20% of victims were not the intimate partner themselves, but family members, friends, neighbors, persons who intervened, law enforcement, or bystanders. And whereas domestic violence is a profound and pervasive issue affecting hundreds of individuals and families across Terrebonne Parish with far-reaching consequences for health, safety, and well-being. And whereas domestic violence transcends all boundaries of age, race, gender, socioeconomic status, and geographical location, impacting people from all walks of life. And whereas the effects of domestic violence extend beyond the immediate victims, inflicting harm on children, families, and entire communities, and placing a significant burden on societal resources. And whereas raising awareness about domestic violence is crucial to preventing and addressing this issue, providing support to survivors, and holding perpetrators accountable. And whereas the Haven and other dedicated organizations, advocates, and individuals work tirelessly to provide support services, raise awareness, and promote education on domestic violence, striving to create a safer, more peaceful society. And whereas we recognize the importance of promoting prevention strategies, improving access to resources for victims, and fostering a culture of respect, empathy, and accountability. Now therefore be it resolved that the Terrebonne Parish Council, on behalf of the parish president and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, hereby proclaims the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And be it further resolved that Thursday, October 14th, 2025, be proclaimed as Paint the Parish Purple Day, and that all citizens be urged to wear purple to show their support in the work to end domestic violence, to speak out against domestic violence, and to support these local efforts to assist victims of these crimes in finding the help and healing they need. Presented on this 24th day of September 2025. Signed by Parish President Jason W. Bajeron, Council Chairman Carl A. Harding, and with the support of the entire Terrebonne Parish Council. They're coming up.
Mhm.
Good evening. I'm Paige Pellegrin, the Outreach Director for the Haven. President Badgeron and members of the council, as you officially proclaim October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Terrebonne Parish, this is more than a ceremonial act. It is a public commitment to ending the silence and eliminating violence in our homes and neighborhoods. Domestic violence is an epidemic that affects people from all walks of life, regardless of age, race, religion, gender, or economic background. It is a devastating pattern of control and abuse, emotional, psychological, sexual, and physical, that strikes at the heart of victims' safety and dignity. In our nation, nearly 1 in 4 women are victims of severe physical violence by an intimate partner. Too often, these incidents go unreported, leaving victims feeling isolated and trapped. During October, we recognize the resilience and courage of survivors, whose strength inspires us all. We also mourn those who have lost their lives, honoring their memory by renewing our commitment to a future free from violence. Domestic violence is not a private family matter. It is a community concern that requires our collective action and attention. Ending it will take all of us. During this month, we call upon every citizen to get involved and make a difference. We must speak out to challenge the social norms and misconceptions that enable abuse to persist, educate ourselves and learn the signs of abuse and how to support someone safely, support local services by learning ways to get involved with the Haven, and listen to survivors. If a victim confides in you, believe them. Listen without judgment and help them connect with the Haven. Let this month be a symbol of our shared hope to resolve. Together, we can break the cycle of violence and build a safer, more supportive community for everyone. Thank you. Let's stand with survivors always. We would like to invite all of you to our annual Candlelight Vigil on Tuesday, October 14th at 6 p.m. at the Courthouse Square. Thank you.
G, a presentation by South Central Planning regarding the home sewage assistance program for residents in the Upper Bayou Terrebonne watershed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pat Gordon with South Central Planning, I'm Planning Director. And we are working with BETNEP, Barataria Terrebonne Estuary, Nature Estuary System, and they're out of Thibodaux. And we have done already 3 phases of the program for BETNEP. And these are EPA funds through LUMCON, through BETNEP. It's a federal funding source. And we've spent about $600,000 already in Lafourche Parish. So we've addressed Bayou Lafourche, Bayou False watershed, and then also we found that the most productive of the projects was combining Bayou Lafourche and Bayou False watershed for low to moderate income families, because so many of those individuals can't afford to upgrade their systems for mechanical treatment plants or sewer systems, individual sewer systems. And so it's been very successful in Lafourche. And so we've taken that same program, worked with BETNEP, and seeing if we can't come into Terrebonne Parish and address the Upper Bayou Terrebonne region. And I believe that Kevin Boulanger has already met with the parish president to identify this program with them. We wanted to certainly start our outreach with the parish council. So you all have flyers. Also, those flyers will be placed on hopefully the website for Terrebonne Parish government. And we've already issued some flyers to Kelly in federal programs. We're also going to work with the Board of Health on any violations that might be out there to work with us on resolving some of those issues. So this upper watershed by Terrebonne area is all the way from Thibodaux to the Intercoastal Canal, and that's the north-south boundaries, with the east-west being Highway 311 and Bayou Blue. So that whole area, anyone in that area that is having problems with their individual sewer system, could contact our office. We would send an inspector out, determine what's wrong with the system, and let the owner of the property know. And if they are voluntarily, if they want to participate in the program, then we do have funding that we can assist them with. If they're low to moderate income, we can go up to $4,000 at 100% funding. If they're not low to moderate income, we can go to $700 with 100%, and then 50% up to $2,000. We are targeting low to moderate income families because we believe, again, that that has the best impact on our water system. So you have to realize that within that watershed area that I described to you, there are a number of community package plants. You know, Johnson Ridge already has sewage. Levittown already has sewage. Most of Houma and By Cane all has sewer. So you're looking at the more rural areas along By Blue, Coteau, along the couplet, and those individuals. And so we're going to be doing some outreach. But again, we wanted to start with the parish council and, of course, the Terrebonne Parish Administration. And and by the way, this is only the first phase. We do intend to go down by Terrebonne from the Intercoastal Canal all the way down to Montague. And then BETNEP does intend to look at other bayous and other areas of the watershed. They've been in Lafourche and Assumption, and they're coming to Terrebonne, and we're going to try to keep them in Terrebonne for a while. But this is at no expense to Terrebonne Parish government. This is we're capped out at about $200,000 for this program, and we're hoping that we can continue this throughout Terrebonne Parish and in the region. So, do y'all have any questions?
Ms. Chauvin.
Well, my first question was going to be, when are you going to get to the buyer areas?
When are we what?
When you get into the buyer areas, because that's what I represent in the east side.
Yeah, we got
But
5
you
of them.
answered that. You answered
Yes.
that. So you have the second phase. Would you have any idea when the second phase will come in, and will it include the bayou
End of the
area?
year.
And end of the year, and
Yeah.
that will include the bayou areas?
No, it'll include lower bayou Terrebonne, and then we'll have to go down the next bayou. And what it is BETNEP has done monitoring, water monitoring, just like they did in Bayou Lafourche. And Bayou Lafourche is our drinking water, and that's why it was addressed first, because the Bayou Lafourche Freshwater District was heavily involved in starting this program. And so once we were completed with Bayou Lafourche and their watershed, BETNEP looked at the waterways in Terrebonne that were most impaired. And Bayou Terrebonne is the most impaired in Terrebonne Parish. So they'll, I guess, look at the next bayou that's the most impaired. I don't know if it's going to be Grand Kaya or
Chauvin or Cocodrie
Little
or
Kaya or any of those. But those mechanical treatment plants, and nothing against the treatment plants, I think they work really well if they're maintained. But we have found too many times that the aerators go out, nobody replaces them. They need the system needs to be pumped out. Nobody pumps them out. So this grant would allow for just pump outs. About $700 for a pump out would allow for just the replacement of an aerator, which is about $1,700, or to blow out the drain pipe from the mechanical system to the ditch. All of that is looked at by our inspector and agreed upon by the owner, and we work from there.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mr. Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Pat, there's a lot of old homes along Bayou Terrebonne, especially in the northern part in Mr. Harding's area, especially as well. And I think you're going to find a lot of the old septic systems, not even the new plants. So I watched this program go through Lafourche. My brother owns property out there, and they came knock on his door. Well, fortunately, all his stuff was new and operational, but I think it's a great program for the community. It's going to help those people that can't afford to do the things that they need to do. And and most people don't realize, I mean, they put that system in the ground and they think it just runs forever on its own, and they don't realize that they have to maintenance it. So I think it's gonna also bring awareness to a lot of people so that they can, in the future, maintain it. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring life back into the Bayou Terrebonne from Thibodeau to the intercoastal. We're looking at adding more water into it and some other things. In fact, we just met yesterday with the people in Lafourche. So I commend you guys for doing what you had to do to get it into Terrebonne. And just a tip from Ms. Chauvin, Bayou Terrebonne does split into little Caillou right at Presque Isle, so it's almost like it's one. It's feeding from the same area, so maybe they could be next. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Me, myself, any more lights? Me, myself, like Mr. Amity said, I'm very, very concerned about the area up there in the gray area because they've been actually fighting for some assistance with their sewage up there. And Ms. Chauvin, she's very adamant about the people down the by. But then some people down by are black too, and that was not mentioned. So we appreciate the effort. This is a wonderful program. I actually put it on my Facebook page, and I made mention of it yesterday.
Thank you, and it's always a pleasure to come back to Terrebonne Parish. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Public wishing to, that's right. Public wishing to address the council, Ms. Sherry Whitmore, co-founder of Everybody's Favorite Twins and co-chair of Twin Fest. 2025 wishes to address the council regarding the Twin Fest 2025.
I'm actually Sherry Talk. I am Cherry Wilmore, and this is my sister Sherry Wilmore. Sherry, I'm gonna let you. Oh, yes. 207 Audemars Street, Houma, Louisiana, 70363. Sherry Wilmore, 207 Audemars Street, Houma, Louisiana. And what we wanted to come in front of everyone to do is we rescheduled Twin Fest for the third time this year, and it is actually going to be Saturday, September 27th, downtown in the Courthouse Square from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we wanted to come and thank you guys once again for working with us in our reschedule. Thank you to the Harris administration. Thank you to the council, inviting all of you to attend. And remember that Twin Fest is a celebration of twins, multiples, and the people that love them. But it's most importantly is a fundraiser for Cherish ×2, which gives back to foster children and our vulnerable populations. It is something that's near and dear to us because we did grow up in the Louisiana foster care system. And so some of the things that we do is holiday kits, we do laptops, we do seasonal kits. And so we want to ensure that the generation that is exiting foster care now have better statistics than they have now, and that they have previously had. And so that is one of our main things. And we're inviting you all to come. We hope you can make it. And so we'll see you there. It'll be 10 to 6. It's a great event. It's free and open to the public. We have music, food, a kid zone, and some activities and some contests. And you don't have to be a twin or multiple to come. Bring your friend, bring your partner, because we do have activities for everyone. If you think your child look like you and you're the parent or the niece or the uncle, we have a Stole Your Face contest. If you want to dress like your partner, we'd have Bring It Back to Sadie. And so we have really cool things for everyone and a great day of fun and twin games for our twins, of course. And so we appreciate you guys. Look like the weather is going to be really great. I thank you for the triplet magic that we needed this time. And so once again, thank you all for allowing us to have our festival, and we hope you all can attend. Thank you. Oh, I am going to talk. I lied. So I also want to thank Miss Julie with the Parish Administration, Miss Luella, who helped me greatly with the insurance issue we was having. I think sometimes when you're behind the scenes, you forget to get mentioned. So I definitely want to thank all the people behind the scenes who was helping me resolve that issue, and Mr. Danny Babin, who I called, and everybody else I called. So to bother y'all. So I do thank you for helping us to resolve that last week. We appreciate it. And that's it. So thank y'all. See y'all Saturday. Y'all gonna come dressed alike? The whole the council could come as all dressed alike. Like together. The October. No. No.
Hey, there's only one person who looks like this.
We only need one. You gotta be extra special to be two. And you know we got twin storms in the Gulf. Well, in the Pacific. It's the Atlantic. All right. It's not coming here. It ain't coming here. We already talked to Jesus. And the
I have a speaker card, Mr. Wilfred Joseph, 102 Octavia Street, Shreveport, Louisiana, in reference to community centers. State your name and address. You have 4 minutes, sir. 3 minutes.
Hold on.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Wilfred Joseph. I live at 102 Octavia Street in Shreveport, Louisiana, in Levittown. I've been a longtime resident of Levittown for about 48 years. I'm actually from Johnson Ridge. I've been, I want to say about I know that the parish president put together a committee that's going to go around and talk to people about the community centers. I've been talking to the council. I don't know if you all remember, I've been here at least twice in the last 2.5 years about trying to get a community center in North Terrebonne Parish, for the low, moderate income people in Levittown, Johnson Ridge, elsewhere, Gray. We want to include the Aldejon community. We think that a community center in the north end of the parish should be, for us, it'd be a game changer. It'll be a generational change for our children. We're going to really focus on our children, but our elderly. We think the center would help us. I have gave Carl kind of a summary, some of the things that we want to do. But I don't know what all you all want. But we want to be able to shelter for storms, people in that end of the parish. We want to deal with the children. We don't care who, where, when. If they're in the north end of the parish, we want to do the STEM plus art program. We want to try and do robotics. We want to change these children's lives. A lot of these children don't, come from single parents' homes, and I've been working with children for a long time, and I know it can make a difference. We work with children. I've been a Sunday school teacher for 28 years. We had a group of children. We had about 35 juniors to seniors in high school. By the time we finished, out of that 35, 80% of those kids has master's degrees or above. So we know how to do it. We have speech and language pathologists. We have math teachers. We have just a plethora of people that's willing to help us, to volunteer their time. So I want you all to just remember that in the north end of the parish, you all wouldn't just be building a center, you would be changing generations of families, of kids. We're going to work with the kids. We're going to knock on doors. We're going to ask their parents to bring their kids. We want to do a community choir, community band. I've already talked to a lot of people that have instruments left from when their children was at home, that we get these instruments tuned up and everything. We just have so many programs we want to do. We have a lot of mental health in our communities. We want to get people there to help us to learn how to deal with our mental health. For the people that doesn't have mental health problems, to deal with their families that do. 'Cause a lot of times our mental health gets shoved in a corner. We don't want to do it. We want to bring them out. We want to participate. We want to help. We want to deal with the elderly to help them to age, to age gracefully, to talk to people about aging, and just so many programs we have. We'll put. The reason why I'm here, I don't know what all you all would.
The motion is amended by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Member vote your machine. Motion passed 8-0. Wait till it turn green. Wait till it turn green.
We want to pay for it through. We know there's a problem with I gotta blame it. We want to help low income mothers to be able to work, so we want to do a daycare. I know it's a problem because my daughter moved back from Texas. 2 years she couldn't get her kid in the daycare. She got called after the kid was in school. So we know there's a problem, right? We know we can make a difference there. That would help us pay. We have other programs. We want to help fund this center if we get it. We can do weightings. We can do repasses. We can do this. A whole lot of things we can do with a community center, So the main thing I want you all to keep in mind is that we know, it'll change generational lives. It just won't change just a few for a little while. We have plans for this center. We have people that's educated, people that's committed, retired people in all field, whatever field you want to say, they want to help us to try and help this community center be successful. So please think about it. Where I live in Levittown, we most of the time we're the last ones to get power. right? So a community center would be able to help shelter people through there until they get power, help shelter them through the storm. Just so many things we can do. I'm gonna say this right quick. I had an eye on a property for 2 years, but it's been sold. Pickleball got it. It's right across from St. Bridget's Church. There was 50 acres there. They was asking $1 million. I think I know I think they paid 600,000 for it. You know, so I did. I have to look to see. I don't know if y'all want me to find the property. Y'all want me to get plans. I don't know what all you are asking for the people that want community centers. But for the community center in North Terrebonne, we're going to serve everybody in the parish, in north end of the parish. That's our goal, to help as many kids as we can for as long as we can, all the while we can. So
Your time has expired, Mr. Joseph.
all right.
Thank you for coming. We have Mr. John Toops with the Second Harvest Food Bank proclamation of the hunger action in response to that proclamation. He's going to come before us. And Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee, I think. When he's going to take a picture after they finish.
Well, I just want to take 60 seconds to thank you guys for the proclamation and bringing some awareness to Hunger Action Month, which was here in September. I appreciate you showing up at our grand opening. For those of you that don't know, we just invested here in Houma, right on the Hollywood property, to open up a brand-new distribution center and soon to be a commercial kitchen. There's 436,000 people in southern Louisiana that are experiencing some kind of food insecurity. And Second Harvest is here through the pantry partners that we utilize in the Bayou region, some 60 strong, to be able to meet that need. Food insecurity is rising, no question about it. And if you've been paying attention, you know that the funding from the federal government is actually on the decline for this. So I appreciate you folks showing up at our grand opening. I appreciate this proclamation. We're going to make a difference going forward. So thank you very much for this.
Could you hold on for a second, please? It's good, thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
you're good. You're done.
Go ahead.
You good?
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Pleasure.
Just do it as council comments.
Right, good. We have actually 6:30 public hearing. A, an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget for the following items. Office of Emergency Preparedness, $3,564. Houma Police Department, $23,378. Houma Police Department, $623. Houma Police Department, $23,239. Houma Fire Department, $5,536. FTA City of Thibodeau, $136,992. CDBG-DR Support the Seafood Industry Phase 1, $1,500,000. CDBG-DR Small Business Grant, $3 million. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion closed, Mr. Amadee. Second by Ms. Chauvin. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. Motion passed, 9-0. Motion to adopt, Mr. Amadee, second by Mr. Pleasure. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. It has been adopted. B, an ordinance to authorize the issuance of issuance of not exceeding $25 million of public improvement sales tax revenue bond in one or more series of a Terrebonne Parish of Terrebonne, State of Louisiana, prescribing the form, terms, and conditions of such bonds, providing for the refunding of certain outstanding bonds, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. First call, public. Second call. Second call, public. Yes, ma'am, you can come.
Name and address for the record.
Oh, yeah, Connie Berg. Yo, okay, Connie Berg, 5953 Alma Street, Houma, Louisiana. I'm concerned about this 25 million. How is this going forward when the vote was illegal? Isn't this the 25 million that y'all voted on a bond for and changed the bond company at the last minute and had an illegal vote? You can point of order all you want. I mean, I'm just asking a question. I would think the ethics committee would have to go over that before you can pass this along.
Miss Neal.
So yes, you're right, Mr. Trosclair. Nothing, or maybe it came from Mr. Clayton. Nothing has been found to be illegal on the vote. There's nobody that challenged the vote by the council. So the action by the council was not challenged. There has been an inquiry started with the Attorney General, but it has not been issued as a part of an investigation, not as of this point. So, so there's nothing illegal about the vote.
I would think y'all would want to pass that on to the public so they could know that.
We are in public
Yes.
hearing, Mr. Trusclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Kenneth, if I'm correct, this is not the same $25 million bond she's talking about. She's out of order on that. Correct?
Mr. Trustclair, it is the same $25 million bond, but the vote that we were talking about is the one that happened on a resolution. This is a brand-new ordinance. It was not changed when it was introduced 2 weeks ago to bring to public hearing.
So
It is the same $25 million, it's just not the same particular item that was voted on.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That was a resolution and this is the ordinance.
Okay, thanks.
Ms. Chauvin.
Okay, clarify, I'm sorry, you kind of lost me on that. So we're not going, so the resolution moved over to whomever was chosen in that vote. This is an ordinance that is going to be something different?
So the resolution was brought up and it was changed and it was voted on. After that was done, we brought this ordinance to the council 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And this is, so it's the same bonds, it's the same companies that were changed in the resolution, but it's just a different voting matter because it's now the ordinance, not the resolution. The resolution was giving us the authority to go to State Bond Commission, get approval, and do all of that. This ordinance is now allowing us to actually issue the bonds and go to the market with it.
Mr. Hamner.
Yeah, and Candace, can you give us an update on that resolution, since this ordinance coincides with it? Is it moving forward? Okay.
I have spoke with one of the companies and there was the other company that did call for me yesterday and I was tied up with the budget and hadn't had a chance to return their call. So those conversations have started. And we've moved forward State Bond Commission and hopefully can get the 25 million and get some projects done.
That's what I wanted to hear. Okay.
Third call, public. Motion to close, Mr. Pleasure. Second, Mr. Amadine. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. Nine zero. Motion to adopt, Mr. Pleasure, second by Mr. Amadine. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. Eight to one. Motion passes. 3, committee reports. Community Development and Planning. Ms. Chauvin.
I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development Planning Committee held on September 22nd, 2025, and I have 19 condemnation hearings and 1 public hearing. Calling the condemnation hearing on the following residential mobile homes, residential structures, and accessory structures and commercial structures on Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. 623 Clinton Street, 204 Morgan Street, 6178 Grand Caillou Road, 114 Garth Drive, 209 St. Paul Street, 7479 Main Street, 305 Clinton Street, 6046 Shrimpers Row, 4439 Highway 56, 5442 North Bayou Black Drive, 1220 Lee Avenue, 7771 Waterfront Drive, 159 Jennings Lane, 1908 Highway 55, 1909 Highway 55, 4231 Country Drive, 5648 Highway 56, 152 Klondike Road, 8911 Main Street, and a resolution introducing a proposed ordinance to amend certain portions of Section 21 through 26 of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances as it relates to the allowed hours for the consumption of alcoholic beverages in the Rotary Centennial Plaza and calling for a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, October 15th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
Moved by Ms. Chauvin, second by Mr. Babin. In discussion, in discussion, members vote your machine. Motion passed 9-0. Budget and Finance, Mr. Bryant. Pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee meeting held on Monday, September 22nd, 2025 at 6:30, and I have no public hearings.
Moved by Mr. Pleasure, second by Mr. Trustclair. Any discussion, members vote your machine. Motion passed 9-0. Public Service Committee, Mr. Voisin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Public Service Committee held on Monday, September 22nd, 2025, and I have no public hearings. Thank you.
Moved by Mr. Voisin, second by Mr. Trustclair. Any discussion? Members vote your machine. Motion passed 8-0. Item 4 is street lights. There are no street lights action. No street lights action. Item 5, appointments of various boards, committees, and commission. Recreation District Number 4 Board, 2 expiring terms on 10/11/25. Ms. Janie Voisin expresses her interest in being reappointed. Mr. Coy Verdun expresses his interest in being appointed.
To open, close, and reappoint Ms. Voisin and Mr. Verdun.
Motion by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin, to open and close and appoint Ms. Jane Voisin, reappoint Ms. Voisin, and reappoint Mr. Verdun to District 4 Board. Any discussion, members, vote your machine. Motion passed 9-0. Coastal Zone Management and Coastal Restoration Advisory Committee, 5 expiring terms on 10/31/25, 1 representing the commercial fishing, 2 representing the public, 1 representing the property owner, 1 representing recreational fishing. Mr. Ernest Babin Jr., representing the public, expresses his interest in being reappointed. Mr. Matthew Benoit, representing property owners, expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Open, close, and reappoint Mr. Ernest Babin and Mr. Matthew Benoit and hold the other 3 over.
Motion by Mr. Babin, second by Mr. Chauvin. Champagne. We got it right this time. Yeah. Yeah. So we're actually reappointing Mr. Ernest Babin Jr. to represent the public, and Mr. Matthew Benoit to represent the property owners and hold the remaining 3 over. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. Motion passed 9-0. Airport Commission 1 expiring term on 10/15/2025. Mr. Christopher Ellender expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Close and reappoint Mr. Ellender.
Open and close and reappoint Mr. Ellender. Motion by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Any discussion? Members, vote your machine. Motion passed 9-0. D. HACVB. 4 expiring terms on 12/31/25. 1 representing historical culture and 3 representing the civic nonprofit organization. Ms. Catherine Gilbert, representing TITA, submits application and resume for consideration. Ms. Reagan Duplantis Kripal, representing Hidalgo Foundation, submits application and resume for consideration. Ms. Erica Pellegrin, representing a civic nonprofit organization, submits application and resume for consideration.
Open, close, and appoint Ms. Gilbert, Ms. Capel, and Ms. Pellegrin, and hold the other over.
Motion by Mr. Babin and second by Ms. Chauvin that we reappoint Ms. Galbert, Catherine Galbert, Ms. Reagan Crepel, and Ms. Erica Pellegrin and hold the other over. Any discussion, members, vote your machine. Motion passed 9-0. Vacancies to various boards, committees, and commissions. Recreation District Number 3A, Board 1, vacancy due to resignation. Recreation District Number 10, Board 1, expiring term. Fire District Number 5, Board 1, expiring term. Coastal Fire Protection District Board 1, expiring term. Bayou Blue Fire Protection District Board 1, expiring term. Downtown Development Corporation, 1 expiring term, representing the Historical Society, and 1 vacancy due to resignation, representing Terrebonne Garden Club. Consolidated Waterworks District Number 1 Board, 1 expiring term. Homer Board of Adjustments, 1 expiring term. Veterans Memorial Board, 1 expiring term, representing the parish president south of the intercoastal. Coastal Zone Management and Coastal Restoration Advisory Committee, 4 expiring terms on 10/31/25, 1 representing the commercial fishing, 1 representing the public, and 1 representing the property owner, and 1 representing the recreational fishing. HVAC, 1 expiring term, HACVB, 1 expiring term on 12/31/25, representing the historical culture. That's it. 7, engineering report, as per Ms. Chauvin, second by Mr. Pleasure. Members, vote your machine. 8-0. 8. 8, council member requesting a discussion on A. Councilman Carl Harding requests discussion on update on the available pertinent information regarding the recent $130,000 phishing scam involving Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Pleasure.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just so for clarity, Mr. Harding, why exactly, what, outside of what we have listed here, what's your intent, what you're looking to get clarity on, I guess?
Well, it was a lot being asked of me, and I felt as if that, if anyone had any questions, instead of me asking the questions, we have an opportunity for them to actually present themselves on the agenda item. I have only one concern in reference to that, but I wanted to hear what everybody else had to say because I'm not in that position, so I give the people an opportunity to say something. Mr. Trushclair?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, I've got a lot of concerns with this item. It seems from what I gathered off of, from, media, that the parish got, scammed out of roughly $130,000 on one occasion and several thousand on a different occasion. And, we haven't got anything. I haven't anyway. I've talked to several councilmen. Nobody's got any formal information officially from administration on what happened. The only thing I really know is what I've read on the paper and what I've seen on HTV, an interview with Mr. Robbie Lee and Chief Terrio. I also spoke to Chief Terrio, called personally after I saw that he had did an interview on the newspaper, which was the first one to show it. And my concern is, first off, I want to start off by saying that every cent, every dollar that comes into Terrebonne Parish doesn't belong to the government. It doesn't belong to the parish president. It doesn't belong to the council. It belongs to the taxpayers. It's taxpayer money. And as elected a legislative body, as part of the elected legislative body of Terrebonne Parish, I feel like it's our responsibility, not only feel like, I know it's our responsibility to assure the people of the parish that their money is being managed and overseen with true integrity. And this incident, from what I hear, now this is strictly street talk and media, happened over 3 months ago or around 3 months ago. And as of right now, I haven't got any information from the administration or anybody other than media on what went down. I hear we recovered maybe 90,000, still another 30 or 40,000 out. But I have a problem with that. You know, I mean, when I spoke to the chief told me that he was doing an investigation, and he had the local law enforcement, he had state, he had federal law enforcement involved, which is very commendable. I mean, and he didn't want it going out because, you know, he felt, you know, he wants to hold his investigation, in his words, close to his chest. And I totally appreciate that. But to go out public with the fact that we had an issue, there's no reason that couldn't have been put public. If not public, at least to the council, so we'll know what's going on. Once it got to the media, I got calls. I mean, all I could tell them is what they already saw. I don't know. Till today, I still don't know. That ain't right. That ain't. I mean, when HTV did their presentation, they I guess it was maybe a press release. I'm not even sure. Parish president wasn't even there. He's the elected official of administration. He sent an appointee to do his presentation. I mean, he can run his business like he wants, but the people of Terrebonne Parish elected him. They didn't elect Robbie Lee. I understand the chief being there because he's a law enforcement agent. So I have a problem. I think, the council should have been informed. I still think we should be informed. I'm understanding there's another incident. Don't know if there's any facts to it, any involving a parish employee. When I spoke to the chief, he said there was a summons issued. Wouldn't give me any more details. We got a lack of communication. I mean, our parish president ran his campaign, and he talks about transparency every day. I think it's time we get transparent. Thank you.
Mr. Pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with my colleague, Mr. Trosclair. It's pretty sad that I learned about this. I was on vacation when I learned about it, and still, I mean, we have no clue of what happened. So before we get into not being able to answer this because there's an open investigation and all this other stuff. Can I at least know, my colleagues and also the people of Terrebonne Parish know from you, Mr. Bazeron, because you have a fiduciary responsibility to the people as well as we do. You're the captain of the ship in sorts, okay? So can you tell us what happened, when it happened, and where we're at right now? Keep my mic on.
It's an open investigation. I've been instructed by my law enforcement officer, the chief of police, to not talk about it. So you may not like that answer, but we are working an open criminal investigation, and we are working that criminal investigation the same way we work every other criminal investigation. So if you guys think we ought to go against the recommendation of our police chief, then that's a conversation I guess we need to have. But as far as I'm concerned, this team has worked very hard to make sure this is the stuff that happens every day, everywhere. And this team has worked very hard. I gotta commend everybody sitting up here and the police department for the work they have done. 4% of the time you get any money back. And we have the opportunity to get it all. So if you want an update, Chief Terry will give it to you. Outside of that, I could tell you that as soon as the council did find out about this, it got leaked to the paper, and now we're having a conversation at a council meeting on an open criminal investigation. We talk about transparency. I give information to you guys more and faster than anybody else ever has. Y'all don't ask questions until we get to council meetings, even though I give you the stuff 2 weeks before it goes on the agenda. So to throw around and say that you're trying to attack me on my transparency, when I'm following the instructions of my chief police law enforcement officer, again, I'm working with what he's asking me to do and what we need to do to make sure that this investigation is not harmed in any way. And again, there have been an arrest, and there's probably going to be more. So at this time, I think it's best that we make sure that the integrity of this investigation is held true. And then once all that is finished, that we come give an update, as we should, as the administrative body, and doing the jobs that we do.
Okay, well, I'm not satisfied with that at all. I'm just being honest with you. And my biggest concern here is I represent a part of the people here in Terrebonne Parish. It's their funds, it's their money. It was taken, I'm to assume, based on the media coverage. And I think that's pretty piss poor to have that kind of answer. And your chief communication officer went on TV, talked about the investigation, and you can't even tell us, you say it's an open investigation, we get that. But at the same time, what day it happened, and what are we doing to not have it happen again? You're an IT guy, but it happened. Okay, so I'm just asking, just to be honest with you, Mr. Bazeron, you feel that we have investigations all the time throughout this nation when incidents happen, and the leader, whether it be the sheriff, the DA, the governor, the president of the United States, they'll get on TV and they'll explain to the people whom they have the fiduciary duty to explain to and tell them what happened. We didn't get that here in Terrebonne Parish. We got our chief communication officer and our chief of police to get up there. It's a pretty sad day in Terrebonne Parish. Thank you.
Mr. Trushclan.
Yes, thank you. And Jason, not one time did I ask you to talk about the investigation. And I don't think Mr. Pledger asked you to discuss the investigation. When I spoke to the chief on the phone, I didn't ask him to discuss his investigation. And as Mr. Pledger said, every day you can look on the news and there's a press conference with things a lot greater, more significant than this deal is. This is significant to us, but there are a lot bigger problems in the country, and they do press conferences every day. The investigation, I really, there's no doubt we need to keep that. What's the investigation going on? We need to keep that under wraps and let the law enforcement do the investigation. What we were asking for is information about the incident, not about your investigation, not about the chief's investigation. And You refuse to do it, you haven't done it, and it appears you're gonna continue to refuse to do it, so thank you.
You want to go?
Again, like I stated, working with my team and the advice that I get from them, they're the ones that deal with this. They're the ones that are giving me, hey, we can't share this information. So when you look at the fact that this was leaked to the public, to the press, and that now we're talking about it at a council meeting, and on an investigation that's been going on, that we're right at the cusp of closing out and finishing and giving that information. But, you know, I understand that this wants to be made into a scandal. This wants to be talked about where I don't have transparency. And even though I've given more information to the public than probably anybody else has, and that's what I keep hearing. But at the end of the day, the administrative team is doing the administrative functions, and we keep getting caught on the fact that the council staff or council feels like they want to do administrative functions. So whether we're trying to get involved in the budget before we're supposed to get involved in the budget and every other conversation that we have, that we have to do our jobs, and we have to do our jobs to the best of our ability. And we're making decisions with the information we have, and we're dealing with this every day. And so, may not be acceptable to you. You may want to try to spin this into a scandal, because the reason why there was an interview on HTV is because it was leaked. And so my question would be is, who did that and why? Why don't somebody pick up the phone and call us just as much? It's always about us not being transparent, but anytime there's a problem or a question, I don't get any phone calls. I get to talk about it at a council meeting instead of having a conversation and saying, hey, I heard this, and maybe that's something we ought to look about. Maybe we could talk about that. No, it's to make myself and our employees and our directors look bad. Any opportunity that has happened. Because every time you come after me, you don't realize that you got 1,000 hardworking people that you're making a harder time for, and that you're stressing out, and that you're putting through situations that they don't need to be. Because then we get into the conversations about people's names and all that stuff. And we've already had people's names released to the paper in other situations also. So forgive me for wanting to make sure that this investigation and employees are protected, because there's been a history of this council letting out names of personnel matters and leaking information to the press, and now having a conversation at a council meeting.
Mr. Babin.
Yeah, Mr. Bergeron, the chief here, can the chief give any information whatsoever? I mean, if he'd like to come up and squelch some of these questions here, I would like to hear that, all right? I think this is something, and again, I'm not trying to defer to the rest of the country, but things like this happen on a daily basis throughout. It's my understanding from hearing from the chief, over $300,000 was scammed by that same person from other municipalities on that same day. And the chief can maybe expound on that.
Chief Travis Terry, Oklahoma Police Department, 500 Honduras Street. So, yeah, the investigation started June 13th. Okay, but whenever you're looking at financial crimes, it is a slow investigation. I wish I could tell you that, we could finish these things out in 2 or 3 days. My detective responded immediately. Okay, started that afternoon. The bank in question actually is not in Terrebonne Parish. He had to prepare a search warrant, and the closest bank he could find was actually in Alabama. The search warrant was served in Alabama. Okay, and we received results back sometime mid-August. Okay, and what I'm giving you is the basics that I can release right now. The arrest warrant wasn't issued until August 29th. I think the suspect was taken into custody, and sometime beginning of September, first week of September, suspect comes back here. What we were hoping for was search warrants and things like that to be executed in Florida, where she was located in Sarasota, and that we weren't able to do that. Now, up to that point, that was all done by our detectives of the Oklahoma Police Department, and they did an outstanding job. Okay, we were hoping to have cooperation from the suspect when they come back over here. That didn't happen. There was electronic equipment that was taken into custody. At this point, the final results of that search warrant has not been finalized. They're still working that, and that we're being assisted by Louisiana State Police and Secret Service. The $300,000 that you were speaking of that appeared to have gone into that count that day, that information that changed as of this afternoon. And what we thought happened really didn't happen with that $300,000. What I can tell you is that there will be more search warrants issued. I do feel that there's a strong possibility of further arrest. I can tell you that there's been roughly $97,000 recovered. I think the hard work of the detective that he's doing right now is truly amazing. I've done these investigations before. This is not an easy investigation to conduct. It's very much tedious and time consuming. I'm confident that he's going to do everything he can to make sure we follow up on all leads possible and recover as much money as possible. I can tell you that the things that he's doing right now give us a better opportunity to recover the remaining funds. There are, and that's what I can tell right now in this straight just facts. That's things that have happened. The suspect's in jail in Terrebonne Parish, and there'll be an arraignment date coming up, I want to say sometime in October. But even that, whenever, will be very much basic information, just meat and potatoes, and it'll be just, guilty or not guilty, and that'll be a plea date on that person. Then they'll set a trial if they don't plead guilty at that point in time. All the details of the investigation, and I haven't even shared that with President Badron. And look, at times, my guys don't share all the details with me on certain investigations, so I don't accidentally say something. So, but this investigation I have been monitoring, and because it's, I have to approve the travel going all over the country for this investigation. If anybody has any questions on what I just said, I'm glad to answer. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I can't, because of the investigation, I'll tell you that.
Okay. Mr. Hammond, you have a statement, question for, Mr. Pleasure has a question for the police chief.
Not of the chief, no.
Okay, then. Next person would be Mr. Trusclair. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, Chief, you mentioned that facts of what's taken place and all that
Right.
already. Okay, you can talk about that.
Yeah.
Can you make sure the public is clear, because I'm sure there's some people out there in the public right now, they just want to know what happened.
So as far as the what happened, I can't tell you the what happened right now. Because let me explain. The what happened is the parish received an email and paid on it. That's what happened. They paid on an invoice. Okay, and the invoice was the suspect. Right? That's the what happened. How it happened, I can't answer that right now because we're still investigating and we haven't gotten to the source. We commonly refer to what is called the you're following the shell game, right? And what we have, I feel strongly that what we have is what we call is the cash mule, right? We have the ones that the suspect sent the money to. I don't think that the person that we have is the person that committed the crime against the parish. But the search warrants that we're following right now, that's what will be able to tell us what happened and how it happened. Hopefully. Does that answer your question or no?
I mean, what happened to me is, we received an invoice. If that's what happened, we received an invoice. That
Okay,
was
so
fraudulent.
that's-
We
yeah.
paid it. We shouldn't have paid it.
Yeah.
If that's what happened, that's what happened. But
Right.
I'll let
Yeah.
the people decide what they
So-
understand of what's going on.
So yes, so there was an invoice, a duplicate invoice that was sent, and the parish paid on the invoice. The invoice that was paid on was actually the suspect. That was, went to the suspect's account. But as far as how, I guess what I'm trying to say is how the invoice was obtained and where that email originated from. That's what I look at as the how, and that's what we don't know yet.
I got you. I understand that part.
Okay.
And also, based on what I saw on the interview between yourself and Mr. Lee, it with some sort of invoice that we get all the time. Now, I want to ask, have we reached out to whomever invoice they duplicated and said, hey, be on the lookout for this, or this is what happened, they sent an invoice on you guys' behalf when actually they, it wasn't real, just preventive to let other entities know, that's not part of the investigation. Are we being proactive and letting other folks know, hey, we had a problem, so be on the lookout or be aware of what could
So,
potentially
and
happen?
incorrect. So that part doesn't pertain to the investigation. I'd have to refer to Ms. Malden for that.
I'm trying to get, there you go.
So, Mr. Pledger, immediately when it was brought to the attention that this unfortunately happened, and there was the phishing email that was the department fell for, it was an exact invoice from DOTD. It was the invoice. So we actually had a question from real DOTD asking, where is this payment? And that's when it started all of this. And so they are aware that we had that somebody had a copy of their exact invoice, and that's how it came through our system. When it was immediately brought to the attention, we did. I called Robbie, we called Chief, I called the bank, shut everything down to make sure that there was no more interaction there and that there was no more access to anything that they shouldn't have access to. And that's where, and we GoSep, correct? GoSep and all that. So that is where it went to. But we have informed them, they do know, and we're kind of in constant contact with that.
So easy. Thank you, Ms. Candace. Thank you, Travis. I'm good.
Anybody? Anything else?
Mr. Hamlin, Kevin, do you have an answer for, a question for him? Okay, Mr. Hamlin, could you hold on? They have statements and stuff like that, so you have a question to the chief, yeah.
For Candace to do. I guess I want to just know that, do we have safeguards in place to prevent this from happening in the future? I'm sure.
Everything possible. And unfortunately, there were some weaknesses, and that's where this fell through. And I'm sad that it happened, but I'm glad that it happened because we were able to put some more controls in place. Unfortunately, it's when stuff like this happens that you discover where they are. But I can promise you, we have put extra steps in place for it to not happen.
Okay, Mr. Hamlin.
Jason, hate to say this, buddy, but everybody's answering the questions this council wants to hear, except you. You're hiding behind, oh, there's an investigation. Travis answered questions, Candace answered questions, Robbie did an interview. What was wrong with picking up that phone and saying, hey, look, we got scammed out of $139,000? You know, it's being investigated. We just want you to know before it hits the news. Several months ago, I'm on the TRSL Board of Trustees, $32 billion organization, state retirement. We got scammed out of $279,000. The first thing the executive director did was call the Attorney General's office and report it. They started an investigation. And then the second thing she did was call the board members and say, hey, look, we got scammed. It's being investigated. That's about all I can tell you right now. That's the kind of phone call I deserved. Okay? It's beyond my comprehension that 3.5 months goes by and I haven't heard from the parish president yet. Yeah. With that said, I want to speak to the general public, about bank imposter frauds and scams resulting in transfers of money. They're not new. They happen every day. Phishing schemes, which involve sending text and emails, pretending to be a bank, a government agency, or something like that. They're proliferating every day, and scammers employ cyber tools and they hack our accounts just to get into them. Okay, so I'm asking the public, be aware of calls asking for money or personal information such as your social security number, online requests to buy gift cards, pay debts, or send money to someone, unauthorized bank charges on your credit card. I had to shut down a credit card just this last couple of weeks because of an unauthorized charge of $595. okay? It happens. And if you don't look for these things in your personal data, personal email, or your credit cards, you're gonna get scammed. There's somebody in this room right now that's probably scammed out of some money on their credit card, and they probably don't even realize it until they go home tonight and check, or maybe out there. It is common, Kim. It is very common. I know you're laughing, but it's common. An email saying you won a prize, okay? February 14th, I bought a new car. On February 15th, 16th, the following Monday, I got an email from State Farm saying, congratulations on your new car. We're going to give you a car safety kit worth $125. Pay the $795 of shipping and handling, and it's yours. I bought a new car. State Farm's my insurance company. I got scammed out of $795. Okay, it's that easy. It's that easy. Okay, the way I caught it, it was they got greedy. They got greedy, and they looked for some more money from me a few weeks later, and then they ended up getting it all back. I'm just saying this to the public because it's easy to get scammed. It's easy for Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government to get scammed. I don't hold that against anybody, but now I'm gonna talk as a councilman. As a councilman, I'm deeply disappointed and concerned that I learned about the phishing fraud targeting our local government through the media. All right. That's what troubles me most. 3.5 months, I still haven't gotten anybody in administration except the news interview that was on TV to give me any information on this. And I understand your IT department knew, that your finance department knew, but none of us up here could know, not even know there was an investigation. I don't buy that, Jason. I just don't buy that. This lack in communication undermines transparency and trust that our community expects from its leaders, and that includes you and me. Our residents deserve proactive and open communication. Yeah, I'm going to recommend that in the future we establish some kind of clear notification protocol so that the elected officials can get prompt and immediate updates on incidences. Some standardized procedure that does not jeopardize an investigation will improve communication and allow for timely and informative decision making. That's the kind of leadership our constituents deserve. Moving forward, I hope you will provide trusted information to the council members and develop policies that will prioritize and open these communication lines. Excluding the council from information about the fish and swindle was not a misjudgment or an oversight. I heard it being said it was an oversight. It was a deliberate choice made by the parish president at the time, and the intention of handling the matter, it was intended to handle internally. But by keeping it such a secret, it could be called a cover-up. And I hate to say that so harshly, but it could be, all right? The decision not to involve the council removed our ability to respond swiftly and collaboratively to protect the parish interests. Yeah, there are such good examples of good open communication. During last year's hurricane response with Francine, we met at EOC every day, and the different departments shared information and resources so that we were able to, as a council members, we were able to respond to the needs of our constituents. That kind of experience reinforces my belief in open communication and dialogue. We have to have it, and our insights as elected officials has to be valued. That's all.
Mr. Trusclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Jason, earlier you stated that a councilman leaked this information to the to the media. Maybe off the record, if you would, introduce me to that councilman so I could at least get some information before it comes to this point. Thank you.
Any more lights? Mr. Babin?
Mr. Bergeron, you did not say that a councilman leaked that. You said a leak was made. Am I correct?
No, he said about a councilman.
Hold on,
No,
Steve.
no, he
Hold on.
did not,
Hold on.
Steve. Go back and look at the tape,
No,
okay?
not now, not now.
Okay,
Not nothing to
I
be
just
updated.
simply asked a question and he verified that it was not a council person. I agree to some extent that maybe after the fact, we could have been brought in. But it's been my experience on this council over the last year and 9 months that when we go into executive session, the next day it's on the street. So maybe the parish president and administration decided not to do that. But again, I heard that a leak was made. He never indicated that it was a parish councilman.
Mr. Wazan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can someone tell me the date of the theft? Is that allowed? Please? And can someone tell me the date it was discovered? Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. Mr. Buzz, I'm sorry. So sorry. Please.
Okay.
June 13th was when we discovered it. The wire actually went out June 11th. So it was 2 days before that.
Oh, okay. Appreciate that. And, so were there, I'm assuming, from the interview, because there was a lot of praise given to the employees, that no employees had any wrongdoing in this. So that has been established. I'd like to clear the air on that if that's the case. That there's been no employees, no allegations, and no findings of any employee wrongdoings, correct?
There has been disciplinary action taken with employees with wrongdoing.
So there has, okay.
Yes.
So there were employees.
And so you're talking about a criminal matter and a personnel matter, of which we have to make sure we dot our i's and cross our t's. So, you know, again, to say. I'm just saying, we disciplined employees. That's, you know, again, we got to be careful. No, the employee did not steal the money. Okay.
Okay. So there was criminal activity, but it wasn't a threat, a theft.
By an employee, no.
Correct.
Not by employee.
Of which part of the investigation is to make sure that it wasn't something going on the inside.
Okay.
So.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. Okay,
Yes,
Jason?
yes.
Because you said there was criminal and
I said there was a
wrongdoing on the employee
I
part.
said we were doing a criminal investigation and dealing with a personnel matter at the same time due to the fact that there was discipline.
Okay. I also heard in the interview, approximately $90,000 has been recovered, correct? Okay. Approximate? Approximate. Okay. And was that recovered from the perpetrators? Or was that through some other method?
So without going into too much detail, because this is part of how they were able to investigate and make the arrest and stuff, when we immediately called the bank was able to try to call back some of that money. But the investigation was part of the reason why we were able to get it too, because of who they found in that area.
Okay. So the money was recovered basically from the bank that it was sent to.
I don't know that I know that answer. Our bank sent it back to me.
Your bank sent it back.
I don't know where they got it from.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
All right.
$795.
And I would have to assume there was a lot of discussion, because I'm gonna have to assume there was probably a little chaos that day, based on this. Would that be a correct assumption on my part? Understood. Uh, was there discussion? Did anybody on your staff recommend, look, I think maybe we ought to go public and just, there was a cyber theft of $130,000. That's all we could talk about, but we did want to inform the public of this because there is an active investigation. And if that was a thought or a suggestion, did the chief say, you can't do that?
We had a discussion and collectively came up with the fact of our direction.
So there was no recommendations to do that.
There was a lot of conversation about opportunities. At the same time, we were working to make sure we got in front of this situation from a cybersecurity perspective. As a collective group, we determined that we needed to make sure that we did what we did. And to have the conversation about, would we change anything? Would we do anything different? Conversations as late as today and facts happening today with this investigation that, again, I go back to make sure everybody understands 4% of the time you get money back. So you could give us a hard time for the steps that we took, but in a situation where you get money back 4% of the time, the work we did allowed for us to get this money back.
Oh, I mean, if you feel that way, these are just, I think, really good questions that I'm getting from people, and I'm just talking for the people. But if you don't want to talk to them, I'll leave you alone. I mean, what you think? I don't understand what that statement meant. I mean, these are just softball questions.
I'm not trying to play games. Everybody's going to sit up here and take their shot. I stand behind our team and the job that we did. And if you're thinking I'm not answering the public, again, it's an open investigation. When this is said and done, we could bring anything and everything.
Am I asking you any questions that's going to interfere with that investigation?
I'm not taking that chance.
Am I asking any questions that's going to interfere?
I'm just stating, you made a comment that I'm not one to answer questions to the public. So far, I've answered what you've asked. And then you're going to turn around and say I'm not answering questions to the public.
Why you couldn't just leave it at that and answer the question instead of ad-libbing? I don't understand. So my question is, did the chief say you can't make a statement saying that we were cyber scammed for this much money and that's all we can talk about at this point? Because your answer was you did everything based on what the chief told you to do. Did he tell you you can't do that?
Okay, I've answered your question. You can ask it 15 different ways. I'm not on trial here. I'm doing what I can with our employees and doing what they do best. So, again, if you want to make this about
I'm just asking a question off of a statement you made, Jason.
I hear it, and I answered your question.
trying
You
to
have
get
another question?
answers for the
Do you
people.
have another question? Is there some kind of point of order at some point that we just keep going back and forth like this? At the end of the day, the councilman is just going to sit there.
Let me intervene here. Now, as always, when people come here, whether it's from the public or not, they have an opportunity to answer or not answer. Then when you're going back and forth, that's creating more conversation. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it either is going to be answered or it's not going to be answered. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure the chief says, well, I have heard, I refuse to answer on any means, whatever, something like that. So
All
if he
I'm
asks us
doing-
a question and that's it, I think these guys up here, unless someone have another a way of doing it, I want other guys to actually to make mention. This is the results of let everybody up here. I guess you can say whether you answer, you don't answer. That's up to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give him every opportunity to answer some of the, I guess, maybe criticism that he's gotten. I think these are good questions for him to clear the air on that. That's all. My next question would be, if that was in the discussion within the last 3 months or so, Was there ever any discussion by anyone in the administration to, maybe we ought to go into executive session and inform the council at the minimum? Was that ever a discussion in the last 3 months or so?
I've answered the question. I'm gonna answer it the same way again.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
I know you say these criticisms, because it's funny because my phone's not ringing. So we hadn't got any calls at the parish regarding this situation. And so the only thing I've heard from was the continued council members that want to make a scandal out of this and talk about I don't have transparency and continue to attack myself and our staff. And I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, that every time we do this, employees that were involved in this have to run the risk of, is my name gonna accidentally be said, similar to what this council has done in the past? So, again, you can second guess what we're doing. We work as a team. We made a team decision, and we're constantly making team decisions and working together. So, any other questions?
Yeah, I'll get to them. What do you think should happen here going forward? There'll be no information to the council until the investigation's complete. Is that the plan?
As soon as we understand that the investigation won't be compromised, that is the plan.
Okay. So, the optics of what transpired, and the optics of what's going on right now, with the lack of answers of things that have no bearing on an investigation. One way or the other, the answers have no bearing. It wouldn't change the investigation in any way whatsoever. And the questions are still not being answered. I can only say, I look at maybe some of this as a potential malfeasance in office, and I'm gonna tell you why also. As soon as I found out about this, I reached out to multiple department heads. Simple question. Some of them didn't even have an idea that this had even happened yet. And the question was simple. Have you ever been given any detailed information about a potential fish hack, whatever it is? Have you ever been given that to be put on alert and for you to alert all your employees that handle this? And not one department head said, yes, I know what has taken place. We've increased IT on sending out Terrebonne Parish made fishes to see if people will open them, and if they do, we send them to additional training. Very good. I mean, I love that. I think it's great. But I feel like y'all probably did find some specific things that could have been caught, but was hard to catch. Hard to catch. But you probably found them. And I feel like those small details should have been shared with every single department head to share with their employees to maybe avoid it from happening again. I just don't understand that. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Guess not.
Or maybe you were misinformed. I was waiting on my light. And maybe our directors are a little worried about maybe sharing information with the fact that, again, anything that comes out gets out. And so we've done training, we've implemented procedures and policies. And again, I'm going to commend our team because we have people speaking on a topic that they know nothing about. And our team has gone above and beyond to not only handle this investigation, but to work and educate, step up our training. And again, we're dealing with something that happens every day. and something that is currently, our current accounting system has been outdated since the 90s. So we're doing anything and everything we can to make sure this doesn't happen again. And we are educating our team and making sure that everybody has everything they need to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Well, and look, I'd just like to say it publicly. If there's anybody that got caught up in this thing and that had different ideas and different ways of doing this for the optics, if only for the optics, and they feel like they got caught up in this unwillingly, maybe to hold a job, let us know, because I got a strong feeling. I mean, there had to be some people speaking pretty loudly about certain aspects of this, just from an optic standpoint. I think this was I think it was an effort to take care of it. It goes away, and nobody's the wiser. That's my belief. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just several things that I've observed and heard while we're trying to navigate this. Mr. Badger, I'm not going to ask any questions about what's happening, what's going on, what went on, or what's going to happen. But one thing I do want to share with you is you mentioned about we're attacking your character, what have you here at the meeting. Well, to let you know, this is our meeting. It's a council meeting. You don't have to come if you don't choose to. You can send a proxy. He can send a proxy. You don't have to, just don't. Because that's in the home rule charter. You can send a proxy, okay? So, right or wrong? Okay, thank you. And second of all, Terrebonne Parish, the people, the citizens of Terrebonne Parish, that's your people. We shouldn't have to pull it out of you, and I'm fine. They see it. But most importantly, I'd like to share with the viewing public. If you know a parish employee, because you keep saying that the parish employees are happy, and I've had enough of that. If you know a parish employee for Terrebonne Parish, anybody that's out there, you ask that parish employee how they feel. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Trusclair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, I think we've discussed the 130, and I'm gonna try to, I just want to ask parish president or anybody, during the HTV interview, there was a faint mention of another, I guess, a scam or a theft by a parish employee. Would anybody like to fill us in on that? This supposedly happened 2 to 3 months ago also.
Sorry to put a damper on that, Mr. Trosclair, but it's not on the agenda.
Well, thank you, Ms. Michelle.
Any more lights? Any more lights? Okay, me. I got the news watching it. And one of the reasons why I got there, because I want people to say it, because number one, politics is politics, and there are people that don't like me. And I'm pretty sure you realize there are people that don't like you. And some of the people, there are some people that do like me, and some people that do like you. But the politics is all out of here, out of the way. And what we want to do is actually take care of the affairs of the people. So when I get the word of it, and I watch the program. And one thing that stuck out, Mr. Robert Lee said he did 99 things right, but he did one thing wrong. And that one thing that he done wrong, he did not advise the council. That stuck with me. I've been trying to get this because I want to hear from the people, but I want all of this to settle. Mr. Hamlin, he had said, everybody gets scammed. I got scammed. It happens. Who's responsible? We find out who's responsible, but I'm still protecting the employees. Something goes wrong up here, I promise you, somebody up here is gonna say, point of order to me, that I've done something wrong. Whether, like Michelle said, that Mr. Steve Trusclair couldn't talk about something else, there were some things that I mentioned that was leaked. That's a trust issue that's going between the two. There's a difference that's going between us. I think we need to settle. Because this is something that, I mean, $130,000, look at our budget and see what the budget is, that's something. But I do think that what really sticks out to me is the 99 and 1. It's the fact that somehow or another, and we sit up here and say we're going to take care of the affairs of Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, and the administration can't talk to the council, we got a problem. So when that problem comes up, I've actually tried to get the finance chairman and finance vice chairman for the last 3 months. Not that I was fishing. We just wanted to see the reports going into the process. It wasn't my intention to look into the budget. But then now for 3 months, if we are supposed to be getting a report, how was this money hidden for 3 months from these guys? This budget and finance chairman, budget and finance vice chairman. Have we actually tried to communicate to get some information? So we try to get the information so we can have a balance. It's not that we're trying to hold nobody's feet to the fire. We're trying to have transparency, keep it within ourselves, keep a working relationship amongst ourselves. We just got to get out of this issue that we actually have. But then if one person asks another person a question, they need an answer. Either they don't know, the constituents ask it, or they're just trying to find out the answer. Don't be offended on either end. On either end. Don't be offended. And as I close, what sticks to me again is the 99 and the 1. Any more discussion? Okay. Announcement, Parish President.
There's a live after 5, 7:26, 7 p.m., which is Friday, Courthouse Square. Band's gonna be the Canebreakers. The Twins talked about Twin Fest. We have Market at the Marina, October 4th at 8 a.m. at the Marina at 8228 East Park Avenue. Outdoor Farmers Market, health resources, food and drink. The Momo Walkers coming up October 4th at 10 a.m. at the Courthouse Square in Houma. Music, food, costume contests. And then they also talked about the Domestic Violence Awareness Candlelight Vigil, October 14th, 6 p.m. at the Courthouse Square.
Thank you, sir. Any council members? Well, Chair entertain the motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Ms. Chauvin and second by Mr. Pleasure. Members voting machine. 8-0.